So we know that we're going to get a hopefully better story experience with Destiny 2. We know that Bungie are providing more of what we love with Destiny 2, but they're also improving a lot of the basic systems, and all of that stuff is naturally very welcome. In this video though, I wanted to look at some of the key quality of life type improvements which could make Destiny a more exciting and enjoyable experience over time, with more endgame vertical progression as well. So the first thing I think we need to see is more regular live events. Live events in Destiny 1 have been kind of hit and miss. Things like the Dawning and Age of Triumph have been pretty fantastic in terms of offering something refreshing. Depending on the release schedule of expansions in Destiny 2, we obviously need more live events, but we also need more meaningful and interesting ones. I think it would be great to see live events centered around the NPCs on each planet or moon. We know that there will be new story characters offering adventures on each planet. It'd be awesome to see short live events where something is happening in a given location or part of the world that could help further introduce those environments and flesh out the story. It would also be great if you could collect bounty for these events through the NPCs on the native planet locations, as opposed to going to the normal social space. There are opportunities for live events to make Destiny feel more like a living and varied world, which Bungie originally envisioned. On top of this, in terms of live events, what about a simple double XP or reputation weekend? This is something that's been a really easy to implement yet greatly wasted opportunity throughout Destiny 1. Of course, naturally these events would need to offer interesting and varied loot as well. Even cosmetic items which you could collect over time would be pretty awesome. Live events in general are strongly linked to my next point though, so we need a better PvE endgame. Outside of the raids, a monthly PvE event could be pretty interesting. Similar to the Iron Banner we have for PvP, it could offer time-gated rewards which would unlock over months and months. It could have its own reputation system, perhaps which doesn't refresh with each event. That would also be pretty cool. You could slowly unlock better rewards at higher ranks over time, and this could, take a really long time to do. Another advantage of this is that if Iron Banner does return in Destiny 2, you could have one of these events every 2 weeks. Iron Banner, 2 weeks later a PvE event, 2 weeks later another Iron Banner. Live events do feel like a key opportunity for Bungie to offer more PvE content. Of course, we'll still have raids, strikes, and lost sectors, and they will act in a pretty similar way to Destiny 1 in terms of activities and rewards. We just need additional seasonal updates and new offerings which happen regularly enough to keep PvE interesting. Up next, we need better PvP quality of life. The Crucible remains enticing because the gameplay is entertaining, players are invested into attaining skill or grinding for god roll weapons, and we need that to remain, obviously, but outside of the P2P connections or frame rate issues, we need better quality of life for PvP in general. A big thing that I think we need in PvP is more frequent updates, fixes, and sandbox refreshes. In Destiny 1, we've seen metagames emerge and then remain the same for very long periods of time, and generally they've included elements which have become way too potent, things like Clever Dragon, which felt kinda like the only primary in the game for months and months. We need a more reactionary approach to issues in PvP. Another big thing here is ranked play. I feel like there needs to be more vertical progression for PvP in general. Much like Overwatch competitive, ranked play could offer a lot to PvP focused players. It would also help to alleviate some of the matchmaking issues that we've seen in Destiny 1, where we have a fairly strict skill-based matchmaking system. With ranked play, if players want casual Crucible, they can go ahead and do it, but if they want to sweat it out, they can also choose to do that. This leads me to another big thing, and that is seasons and clan integration. On the clan tab shown in one of the Destiny 2 trailers, we see Season 1 labelled in the director. It's safe to assume that some kind of seasonal progression system will come with Destiny 2, and I think it needs to be a pretty fleshed out part of the game, offering new content and themed rewards for each season, major sandbox tuning fixes for PvE and PvP in order to both fix and refresh the game, but I think it also needs to tie into ranked play. Again, Overwatch competitive does this exact thing. A refresh of stats each season, offering repeated progression in the skill system as well as new rewards which go alongside it. It would also be nice to see some kind of clan leaderboards or recognition of your clan's achievements in a given season. There could be clan versus clan tracking, which could reset each season, so if your clan scrims with another clan regularly, you could track your performance over time. There are so many reasons that seasons... Hey, that rhymes. There's so many reasons that we need this to be in the game, and I think we're gonna get it in one form or another at least. Finally, I think we need more engaging weekly vendors in the game. So if we see a return of the exotic vendor Xur or a similar character, I think we should have a refresh on the system, and instead of actually selling gear, it would be awesome to see an exotic vendor that sells blueprints for exotics or even maps. So you essentially could buy a mini quest for a piece of gear where you'd go and collect the weapon frame or armor materials, for example, and then upgrade them by completing a series of tasks. I think you guys get the general idea. It could be a way more engaging investment-based activity, and you'd also be guaranteed the gear, you'd just have to do a bit more work for it. I think it could make the exotic vendor way more interesting for all different types of players. I also think some kind of reforging vendor who appears once per week could be great for Destiny 2 if handled very carefully. We have seen weapon reforging before in Destiny 1, and it could be a little bit problematic to say the least, but if you think to the Division's recalibration system, they actually kind of got it down. It's very expensive for a start off, so you can't simply repeat the process 50 times in a row or something crazy like that. It offers a bunch of different tiers for re-rolling, so you can select batches of possible perks at a time. So say you're looking at reroll node 1 and it can offer explosive rounds, firefly, look in the chamber, hidden hand, and so on. These are just examples, but when you reforge you would have a chance at one of those perks in a particular slot, meaning that you can target the kind of roll that you want, but at a cost which makes it a risk-reward situation. On top of this, to ensure that reforging doesn't become a problem, it could be made to require certain materials that you could only obtain a limited amount of each week. So say you could earn enough materials to re-roll one weapon or armor piece per week, and that would be the lockout. This would be something else to grind for each week, and would also greatly limit how much reforging you could do in a given week, and I think a system like this could potentially work. So we've looked at a bunch of different stuff in this particular video, but these are some real quality of life additions and changes which would be huge for Destiny if implemented well. We know that some of this stuff is coming in one form or another, but what do you guys think? I'd like to hear what you guys want to see in Destiny 2 down in the comments section below. If you have found this video interesting, a like as always is appreciated. It really helps me out on the channel. If you're new around here, be sure to hit subscribe if you want to see more Destiny content. Also turn on those notifications if you don't want to miss out on anything. But for now, I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you have an awesome day.